So we are on way to Kumila. Yes, we're almost there. Almost say around half an hour from here we'll be reaching not Kumila. It will be rather just beyond the War Cemetery, Rani Bangla. So we're on the road. Pretty soon we'll be there. So here we are. We haven't reached yet, but maybe in another 15 minutes and we'll be there. We're still on the road to Kumila. We're not going to Kumila, as I said. We're going to Rani Banglo. This road leads to Kumila and Chittagong. But we'll take a left turn from beyond cantonment and then we'll reach our destination. Yes, this is the approach road to the gates of Queen Mainamoti. Queen Mainamoti's bungalow, in fact. Imagine this whole area surrounding the bungalow was under the Queen's power. Half a kilometer away on the north is the river Gumti, which was once upon a time very near to this kingdom. Actually, this kingdom was widely spread up to the river. War cemetery on the south side, just beside the bungalow, was also included. If any excavation is done right now, we will come up with structures down below. In fact, this place is all littered with structures down below and the mound. So in other words, this hillock was widely spread out and the river water used to touch the side of this hillock. There is still an area just beside the hill. The downslope seemed empty and hollow, and this, as its saying goes, that there was a ghat or a small dock for the boats to stop and pick up people to ferry. That goes back at say around 300 to 400 years from now, early 17th century. The whole area actually was under water 500 years back, it is presumed, and only habitation were the hills. And that is why the Nath community of people before them used to habitate these hills, and so obviously these people, or maybe the kings, built these houses over the years, and by 1560 this Rani's bungalow was also built as presumed. The structure in fact was built, as the archaeologists found, on a cruciform base. This cruciform structure was the emblem and theme of the Nath people, or rather an emblem for them. And since the virgin soil was found at 14 feet down below, give and take a feet one plus minus or whatever, we can easily conclude the years. 3 years for the cultural debris accumulation puts it to 14 divided by 3 equaling 4.66, meaning 460 years approximately. Now if we subtract 460 years from 2020, it becomes 1560. So 1560 approximately should be the actual time, not 8th or 9th century AD as claimed by some. But I'm not talking about the other structures. There are some other structures beside. They might go back some more. But whatever. Rani's bungalow and the period coincides with the Mughal Emperor Akbar. But Jahangir in his memoirs wrote about some Nath yogis during his time, and a Nath guru used to visit him every now and then. Besides, he experienced a lot of these yogis in Afghanistan and Peshawar. There is a hill, you'll be surprised to know, called Gorakh Hill, and that Gorakh Hill extends from Peshawar to Murree. There is a hill station in Murree called Gorakh Hill Station. And all due to one man, Gorakhnath. In the name of Gorakhnath, the hill was called Gorakh Hill. Jahangir also watched these people over there in Afghanistan and Peshawar erecting a temple in his name. That was between 1605 1627. The period belongs to Jahangir, the emperor. So, Nath yogis were all over the place in the subcontinent. Then, there still are these people in Maharashtra, Punjab, Peshawar, Afghanistan, Pakistan, and nearby areas. They even produce songs on Matsyendranath, the Nath Guru from Barisal. Matsyendranath's Gan, or rather Mainamotti's Gan, or songs of Mainamoti, are still being sung in the villages of many villages in India. But meanwhile, you can have a look at these walls, surrounding walls from the main structure, the main Mainamotti's place. The story actually unfolded from here, Rani's bungalow. We are approaching right now, and it is said that Matsyendranath from Barisal found his ideology not accepted in his own land, that is where he was born, Barisal. So he came down to Kumilla to find Mainamoti for her support, because Mainamoti then was a queen. So he thought maybe she could give him a help. Here he found his disciple. Gorakshanath became his disciple. And Jalandharinath, another disciple of Gorakshanath, were there. And together with Rani, they used to culture this Nath ideology here. Ideology seemed very simple, having not to idolize any god or anything, but emphasized on Guru and Shishyo only. They believed in loving the humans and this Guru and Shishyo, or master and disciple relation, having the Gurus to disseminate knowledge to the disciples and telling them to spread these ideas to others. And in fact, it spread. It spread very quickly, and this knowledge was dispersed all over the place. And slowly the villagers came and joined the community. And the whole thing spread up to the borders of Russia, Afghanistan, Peshawar, as I said before. All over the place. This whole subcontinent was filled up with these Nath yogis. Even now you will find the Nath yogis over in Punjab, Maharashtra, South India, some parts of South India, Bangalore and all that, and in Peshawar, Afghanistan. Matsyendranath together with Gorakshanath, from here they began to travel. They went down to Gorkui. That was the place. In fact, Gorkui is in Thakurgaon. And that was the place where they say that Gorakshanath lies, his body lies. Probably Matsyendranath too. Together, they preached and they stayed here till their last. That's what they say. But meanwhile, when they traveled from here to Nepal, Cooch Behar, Gorakshanath became so popular after Matsyendranath's departure that while in Nepal, villagers from nearby areas, they all came down to see him. They all became his disciples. So they became, in the end, the Gurkhas. So much so that the disciple had to be named Gurkhas after his name. Also, you probably understand that Gurkha shop, the snake Gurkha, is called because, it's his name, bore his name. And the Hindus still offer worship to this snake. Now, this Nath community still can be found in North Bengal, Naga, and many other places in India. Especially it has gone over to India and settled down there in Maharashtra and Bangalore, Punjab, Peshawar, in Pakistan, all those places. And in Gorkui, those two sat down and tried to find out what the alphabets of Bangla would be. So they divided between them the knowledge, and they found that the alphabet should be like this. And there's a plate, stone plate, where the alphabets were still written. They can still be found in that place over there. Now it can be easily established. This Nath culture went as far as the Russian border, as I said before, Afghanistan. And in the Russian area, these people, they bury their dead. It's noted that they bury their dead in a sitting position, just like the Nath people used to do. So this was really surprising. It went down to those areas too, spread. It really spread like wildfire. But meanwhile, this place was filled up with students. It was like a residential school of today. They used to come, study, stay here, and the sponsor was carried out by the Queen then, and the other areas, like in their other establishment nearby, about 20 or 30 still standing there. They used to be backed up by the kings wherever there was. So we can easily understand these Nath yogis are still surviving in many places in Bangladesh and India, and still being revered, having ritualistic performances in many states of India, including, as I said, Maharashtra, Bangalore, Punjab, and etc. and etc. Now that we are approaching this place, you can easily understand what was it like. A residence. Imagine this place filled up with students, their gurus, and all those people. The structure is sort of above ground, maybe around 7 or 8 feet. Yeah. From the top, went down to 14 feet, 14 or 15 feet. So, calculating, it was found that it went back to 1560 AD. We are trying to find out the entrance. There is always an entrance, staircases or stairs or something like that in every establishment or every monastery. This is sort of a monastery. There are monastic cells. You'll be able to see them pretty soon. When we walked up to the entrance of this place, we found out. They're all covered up with grasses and all that. They exposed them, dug them up, exposed them, and kept them like this. And look at the bricks. They look as if they're new. In fact, they are. Why they're new? Because during 1957, when the East Pakistan Archaeological Survey dug them, excavated the sites, there were 60 of them in total, long time ago, but only 20 probably are remaining. So these bricks were in very, very bad condition, ruinous conditions. They're falling apart because 450, 500 years, long time. The roofs, you can't see any roofs because they collapsed long time ago. Only the walls, retaining walls are still there. And that's why we can see them. And the bricks, as I was saying, they were bricks because 1957, when the archaeological people found they will be falling apart, falling off pretty soon. So they brought in new bricks to strengthen the walls. That's how we see them now. The ruinous bricks, very old bricks, along with the new ones, they put it there using the mortars, that is mud, sand, and water mixed up, and they put it together so that the walls can stand erect. That's why, and that's how we see them now. And on the left side, you will see dug up spaces. These spaces are specially monastic cells. Students used to stay here, study here, do a lot of things doing there, and many monastic cells are still there, but they've gone down because you can't see them now. But those days, you can imagine they're standing up and erect. It used to look like any college or university or something like that. And you can see them, those monastic cells. Far away, in the background, the walls are still there, guarding the citadel. They were in fact slightly higher than what they are right now, because they all collapsed, most of them. Long 300, 400, 500 years. Thanks God they're still there. And you can understand that the bricks, the way they mixed them up, lime, earth, and sand, maybe together with some tree trunks or things like that. They used to glue them, the bricks, and the bricks were so basic. Look at that. It looks like a well, but it's not a well. Underneath, there are chambers, tunnels. There's a saying that those tunnels used to extend to the river, all the way from here. Don't know whether it's right or wrong, but maybe it's true, because the river is very close by. Once upon a time, the whole area was underwater. Rivers were huge. Rivers were huge. This river. And people used to stay on top of the hills because there were water all over the place. And that's how these people used to travel from one hill to the other by boat. The grass is covering them up. No one has to take care of it now. In rain and sunshine, or in winter, no one really bothers these days. Of course, it's under care of the archaeological division. Even then, when you go up, walking, very strenuous sometimes. It was a hill anyway. There are other hills, but this one was a small one. But even then, the area was sort of huge. See the holes down below? There were tunnels, and people used to reside here, probably walk through them to the river, maybe, or maybe they used to stay here. This is just one. There are several. You can see the bricks too. Those bricks, they are so hard. Imagine these days, our engineers are mixing bricks with cement and all that thing. They don't last maybe a couple of years, sometimes. But look at this structure. They're still there for 400 and 500 years. How can you compare though? This cannot be compared. Bricks are together. New one and an old one. There is another hole here. Yeah, you can see them. Probably people used to peep from down there. Not very high though. But whatever. It served as a cell, monastic cell, as I said. And the bricks. Again and again. This place was, still is, a mystery, still, because he cannot unearth everything, all the stories, all the history, all the details of history. So difficult to find, but we can at least think about them, conclude them, in a sense that there was something. We can see that there was something. We can see it now. And I don't know, maybe we'll find some more from here if we unearth. But for now, Khuda Hafiz from me.